Hello and welcome to round one with As Foretold Restore Balance. You'll be able to find the whole set of these, plus basically everything else Star City has put out for video on our YouTube channel, if you're viewing this from there, or on our site archives, starcitygames.com. So, this is a pretty clear keep. We have the ability to fire a turn 2 balance if necessary. Even though this hand is not good at depleting itself of lands, the fact that we can turn 2 is pretty nice. Windswept Heath points to a very positive matchup for us. Most likely some kind of creature deck. Ooh, that's not positive for this hand. So our opponent is playing the like overgrowth-ish deck. So this is an awkward set of cards to have. So we don't have a basic forest in the deck. So I'm gonna fetch. So I have to fetch Breeding Pool. That's one minor issue with the current list. There's only one green land to fetch, but I don't really know how to fix that. I did trim a little on red-green border post, which cuts some green sources that might be a little awkward, but it's only in the face of Ghost Quarter. I don't know how aggressively I'll get Ghost Quarter. Anyways, our opponent's on the, it's like Utopia Scroll, Overgrowth. It's like Mono Green Devotion, I guess is really what it's called, but I'm not, I guess they could be red-green LD too. That deck also plays this. Anyways, back to thinking about the play I would like to make. I would like to, this is going to be saved for a breeding pool later. I want to get a basic mountain with this, I believe. Because I have, yeah, basic mountain, because I'm going to fetch a breeding pool, which is a blue source. I don't want to play Blood Moon against my opponent at all, so I'm just not going to even worry about it. Yeah, that's a tricky part of these like 4-color decks is fetching. I think 4-color is very doable in Modern. It's just like it comes at some expense of what you're actually doing with your mana, your life, all that stuff. Okay. Oh, there's a Beast Within on top. Okay. That's a good draw. So, my options are casting As Foretold or leaving up. So I can leave up fetch plus this. That I think I just want a border post again. The logic here is I feel like I can bait my opponent. I want to get the most. I want to get the most of my opponent's lands out of this Cascade spell. But yeah, that's fine. So I want to get the most lands I can out of my opponent's Cascade spell, but at the same time, there's like this balance of playing around Beast Within. I guess the As Foretold gets Beast Within. So this Kitchen Finks really doesn't mean anything to me. I know my opponent has Beast Within in hand. Ooh. That was basically the perfect draw. So I want to wipe my opponent's lands this turn before they can cast a Beast Within. I didn't want to... if I Violent Outburst, I could Violent Outburst, play a land, and then get to Cure the next turn. But this way, I have another... maybe I did this the wrong order. I have another land wipe sort. No matter what, I have to pay the... Yeah. This is fine. The logic is that I'm trying to figure out how I can kill the most of my opponent's lands. That's the key resource I'm killing with my restore balances here. Not cards in hand, not anything else. The Kitchen Finks will eventually come back, but I don't really care about that. Here I'm going to discard a Scalding Tarn. No, this can fetch any. This is worse. We're keeping both of these. We'll get back to the explanation in 1 second. That's definitely a keep. That's a keep. This can fetch basic planes, which I don't care about because I have 2 white border posts, so I'd rather keep the Scalding Tarn. So I don't care about the Finks. It's not going to kill me before I do stuff. Did I? Yeah, I should have been able to play a land that turn. I just misclicked because I was thinking about stuff. So yeah, I want to kill the most of my opponent's lands here. I guess Resolving Cure is also nice. Plead doesn't help me. I'm going to play the fetch, so I later... One of the cool things with Violent Outburst being an instant is you can kind of cast it whenever. I mean, that is how instants work. But very specifically, I can do silly stuff like, I don't know, respond to my fetch, and then I just have 1 less permanent on the battlefield or anywhere. I'm figuring out what land I want to fetch here, or if I do. Yeah, let's get Breeding Pool, I guess. I don't think I'm going to fire off the Restore Balance there. I think I'm just going to stick the Kiora. And this will be saved later to... Okay, my opponent's not going to have 2 mana because of the Utopia Sprawl they drew. They're going to have a Beast Within that I have to fight. So that happens. I want to use that to bounce the land. I don't care about cards in hand. Again, destroying my opponent's lands is kind of the key resource. Kiora is probably going to get turned into a beast, at which point I will respond in Outburst, I think. This is not going to end well for my opponent in the slightest. I'm going to just cast Ardent Play on my next main phase and save the Outburst for some later point. It's just a better card. Nice choice of bird on my opponent's part. Really partial to the 7th, 8th foils of that. It's kind of pretty awesome when they first did that, because it was like the first foil printing of Birds of Paradise. It looked really good. Let's see. So we took out the... Here's where I get punished for misclicking through the land there, because otherwise I would have deployed the Kiora a turn sooner. Interesting. I can get an extra card out of my opponent's hand if I use the Scalding Tarn. Is that relevant? Do I care about the cards in my opponent's hand? They're just going to discard like some Stone Rain they don't want to cast anyways. So I think... I guess I have to discard 2 cards if I just crack this for nothing. Which I kind of like. I have so many lands I don't think I need that resource. guess I'll target their land. I'm going to be cast with As Foretold. I really enjoy land destructioning the land destruction deck. That feels really good. No, we're good here. Cure is just going to make Octopi. Okay, so that game ended well. Against land destruction, what's actually going to happen to me? They could have Chalice. Chalice the Void is a magic card they could have. I don't think Causal X Return is doing anything. I don't think any of these cards are. I don't think Odds Ends is good enough. I don't think Wear Tears. Wear Tear Killing Courser is not the worst thing in the world. I guess it's not really relevant. So those are the cards I'm looking at bringing in. What am I looking at? Oh, I have Blood Moons. Blood Moon should not be in my deck. Blood Moon's horrendous. Ingot Chewer. Wear Tear. Card's kind of cool, I guess. I'll try it. Try a little bit of everything. So, I don't really need an answer for Plat Empyrean, which is a card they do play. So this hand is great. I'm going to... Oh no, my opponent mulligan? That sucks for me. Like, seriously though, like, this is a deck that benefits from mulliganing. So, I want to fetch Basic Island. And then I want to expose this border post, because I think it's the least important one if it gets immediately Beast Within. Okay, that's fine by me. I think Ancient Grudge is less of an issue than people think it is for this deck. Interesting. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Yeah, I think I'm more likely to draw another white source than I am to draw the red-green split source. So I'm more okay with that one getting exposed. It's unfortunate. You can draw hands with this deck that are like really strong against Ancient Grudge. It's just like X% of the time your hand is bad against Ancient Grudge, and this is like one of that X%. That card is good against my deck. What is my plan with this hand against that? It's currently Die a Horrible Death. I don't really have a good answer to Sarkhan Vol. As you can see, Planeswalkers are a problem for my deck. I guess I don't really have to have an answer if I can just Cascade away the ultimate. That's true. The ult there is not very threatening. The +1 kind of, oddly enough, has been, though. So I can still survive another hit. So this is fine. I'm gonna need to violent out. Oh, I'm out of restore balances though. That's a problem. I'm gonna need to draw As Foretold is what I need to do. If I get ultimated and then re-Sarkhan Volt, I'll be really happy, but is that lethal yet? Go to 1. It's not a good place to be, but... How many counters on this now? 7? Yep, that's graveyard. So I can't fetch. Well, I'm not dead. I have to fire off Violent Outburst on my opponent's attack step. And I had to wait because the Kitchen Finks rebuy would, like, I can't upkeep it because of Sarkhan giving haste to the Finks. I have to do it after attacks. So I think I want to discard... I can't sack the land either because I need the Ardent Plea on the way back to, like, kill the Sarkhan's dragons or whatever. I'm going to keep 1 balance in case I draw the thing. I only keep 1 Plea because there's only 1 balance left in my deck. And I keep Cure because that kind of answers stuff. I'm pretty dead to, like, a bird or an elf, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, okay. Those are all dying. That's great. So, also unfortunate, I cannot... Okay, that's a fine one to draw. Now the question becomes, do I take myself off of Kiora to kill that land? And I think the answer is yes, because I don't think... I don't think Cure is going to stop Sarkhan anytime soon. It's not going to stop a hasted elf from killing me. But if I kill the land, my opponent needs 2 pieces to reassemble the lethal thing, which is any mana elf. But that's not the point. I can survive a little bit longer, potentially. 6. I'm probably going to want to shove on all of these and kill the Sarkhan at some point, and then eventually kill my opponent. I also can't fetch, which is just super awkward. Just 1 Planeswalker versus my entire deck. Probably losing the game. Oh, wow, I'm not dead. That's very lucky. I think I hold on to that both because I think that by the time that this is or should be resolving, I should have my opponent in a position where I'm attacking with Gargadons, and because I would like to draw As Foretold and potentially use it. That's a very, very good draw. That lets me cast Kiora next turn, which is probably enough to win the game. Oh, no. Wait, nope, we're good. We're good. Oh, no, we're not good. No, I couldn't be Arbor Elf. I had Arbor Elf covered by the surprise Gargadon blocks. That was unfortunate. So, I don't think any of my decisions change in the slightest. Sarkhan Vol. Wow, that is not a card I was expecting to lose to. This is fine. We're going to fetch Island, expose Firewild. If I get Ancient Grudge, that's life. It's actually not the worst. If I get Grudge and Sarkhan again, that's very unfortunate, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. This, however, whatever this is that doesn't cost a lot of mana is nope, that's not beatable. Not immediately, at least. So the plan for the next couple turns is actually to put fetch lands on the battlefield and not sacrifice them, so I'm not exposed to land destruction, I believe. Okay, well, because that's the card I drew, I'm perfectly fine exposing that card to land destruction. So I'm going to get a basic mountain. And then my sequence after that, actually kind of interesting. Please don't be so... Come on! What is this? This is nonsense. So... Well, that was a good draw. That does in fact answer Sarkhan. Does it mess up what land I have to fetch? Yes, it does, because I can't fetch green-white. Guess this is not super threatening in the short term. I guess I also am not committed to having to Violent Outburst in the short term. Well, about that, that is not resolving. I don't see a need to take action here. Not dying. It's a pretty good one. Now it's basically a game of debating if my opponent has another LD spell as to whether I play this island or not. So my options are, I can't really, okay, so one option is that I would cast Ardent Plea this turn, but that's just bad. Opponent's Planeswalker's on Ultimate, that's not going to work out. I could cast D-Sphere on the Planeswalker, which is, actually kind of like that. It does mean I have to draw mana sources to do stuff, but I'm okay with that plan. Like, my opponent actually has to have, like, LD and threats to really punish me here, too, so... And I have to not draw very well. Beast Within would be obnoxious. But I'm okay with that. What costs this much mana? Stormbreath Dragon? Whoop-de-doo. That's not nice. That's basically the worst thing possible for me. Now I have to draw my crappy card again. I literally have no idea what cards I should be playing around. There's just Sarkhan Vol and Primal commands going on. I have no idea. They found Finks. That doesn't bother me too much. So, this is 9. I think I might be dead here. Man, how am I supposed to beat these cards? This is not a combination of cards I've ever faced before with this deck. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. This is one of the problems of playing a deck like Restore Balance, where like a lot of weird stuff is part of your deck requirements. You end up in these spots where like just things happen that you aren't aware can happen, and then you just lose. So I can fetch Island, Ardent Plea, this. D-Sphere takes care of the ultimate, so that's fine. How many counters are on Gargadon? 5. I don't want to Gargadon. Ardent Plea doesn't actually stop my opponent from killing me with Finks, does it? It doesn't. I'm actually just dead. Wow, that's impressive. Huh. Weird.